Morning everybody, it's Rob, Yoga Dad, and we are back outside. Thank the Lord for that after yesterday's challenging indoor session in the Yoga Twins bedroom. Really pleased that you've been able to find the time to join me today for this session. As you can see, we've got some bright blue skies around us, still a little bit of a breeze, so it might provide a little bit of feedback on the microphone, but hopefully you can hear me okay throughout the session. We'll talk a little bit more about the charities at the end, but otherwise let's get started with what we'll focus on: core stability and strength 15-minute session. Anyway, let's get going. So no props for this. We're going to start on our backs. So as we've done over the past few days when we've been outside, laying on our backs, we take our feet that little bit wider than the hips, and if we're using a mat, almost running parallel, the outside of the feet to the long sides of the mat, palms alongside the body, facing up towards the ceiling or this beautiful blue sky above, knees knocking in towards one another, and just settling into the space, settling onto the ground as we begin our 15-minute stretch together. I'm just closing the eyes just for a moment. And just tuning into how you feel, just being curious about how you feel this morning. Any aches or tension you may be experiencing. Being curious about your energy levels, your emotional state, whatever it is that you're bringing to this 15 minutes that we've got together this morning. Just taking a deep inhale and exhale, and each time you breathe in and out, just really inviting more energy into the body. And then allowing the body to soften back down again. Almost imagining that if there was a cloud in the sky above me, we were able to, through our deep exhale, just blow those clouds away. Nice soft gaze, open the eyes. So we'll just start today. We'll heel toe our feet back in towards hip distance apart, knees hip distance apart. And we're going to lift our legs up towards the ceiling or the sky above. So immediately you might feel some strength here, particularly across the abdominal area, also along the back of the legs as we're holding the weight of our legs up into the air. And we're going to lift our arms up as well. The palms facing one another, fingers up towards the sky. And we'll just start slowly bending our knees and elbows, just lowering our arms and our legs just down towards the floor. Lift them back up again. We just start rotating, drawing imaginary circles with our fingers and toes in one direction and then the other, and then shaking it out, and then taking our feet, arms back upwards, and we'll lower one arm down at the same time as the opposite leg. And then lifting that back up again. And we do the same on the opposite side. So trying as best as possible just to keep that stability of the body, torso, along the mat. It's not important how low you go with the arms and the legs. The most important thing is you're feeling the benefit, feeling that warmth, that heat that we're generating across the abdominal region, the muscles in our limbs. There shouldn't be any sharp pain at all. One more on either side, really reaching away with the fingers and the opposite heel. And then back up again. We shake that out. Okay, we just rock ourselves backwards and forwards, so we just place our hands around the back of our thighs, just rock it backwards and forwards a few times. And then up into an all fours position. Just one moment. Just a second. It's just a slight problem with this. Okay. Right. Okay. Back into the all fours position. So hands out to shoulders apart, knees underneath the hips. Nice big inhale and exhale. Again, imagine that we're blowing those clouds away in the sky as we breathe out. Next time you inhale, lifting the crown of the head up, arching the spine, tailbone towards the sky. Exhaling, pressing down through all four corners of the palms, chin to chest, tailbone tucking under. Do that 4 more times. Maybe even closing the eyes as you move. Just going as slowly or as quickly as works well for you. And just feel that space that you're creating across the chest, between the upper arms, along the length of the spine. And that mobility to the tailbone as it lifts up and down. And then back to a neutral position again. So take an inhale and exhale again, just to engage those deep abdominal muscles. We take the left fingers forward this time. We take the right foot back, so onto the ball of that right foot. So you can stay in this position if that feels good for you. Otherwise, option to lift that left arm, left thumb up towards the ceiling, and lifting that right leg at the same time. Lowering back down again. And we do that 3 more times. And we integrate the breath if we can as well. So we inhale as we lift up, reaching those left fingers away, pressing back with that right heel, and back down. Twice more. And just maintaining that stability across the shoulders and the hips. And then 1 more time. And then back down again. Left hand in, right knee in, opposite side. Left ball of the foot back. And again, option to stay in this position or start lifting. Right arm, left foot. Back down again, integrating the breath, inhaling to lift up. Back down again. Twice more. And back down. And then once more. And then back down. Okay, bringing that right hand and left knee back in again. We take our hands that little bit forward this time. We take our heels that little bit further back, knees, sorry, that little bit further back. As we take our heels now, hips down towards the heels. So extending out, lengthening out along the side body, all the way from the fingertips, down along the side body, down towards the hips. You really feel as though the opposing forces of the fingers and the tailbone reaching away in opposite direction. Now lifting the upper body forward, shoulders over the wrist, pressing down through the balls of the feet as you lift the knees up. Hips up towards the ceiling or sky above, and just pressing up and back with the hips and keeping those knees nice and bent, just to ease any tension on the back of the legs. We'll start lifting one heel and then the other to extend out along the back of the legs, and also rounding the head across the shoulders in one direction and then the other. Trying to do everything at the same time. It's a challenge for your focus as much as anything else. And then inhaling to lift the heels and slowly, not important whether they get down towards the floor, just go as far as feels good to you. And again, keep those knees bent if you need to. So walking the feet forward now towards the hands, the top of the short side of the mat, inhaling, lifting the hands up onto the shins, exhaling to fold forward, keeping those knees bent if you need to, wrapping the forearms over one another, and just allowing the gaze just to soften between the knees, between the thighs, as you allow the upper body to sink down, and just creating that little bit more space all the way along the back body, and maybe even starting to straighten the knees a little bit, and just seeing how that feels for the back of the legs. Allowing the fingers now down towards the floor, walking the hands back up the shins, knees, thighs, all the way up to hip position, and palms now facing forward. Closing the eyes just for a moment in a standing position. Just rocking the feet from one side to the other, feeling that connection through the floor, through the ground, forward and back, across the balls of the feet and the heels. Extending the fingers down towards the floor and feeling that length along the side body. Thumbs rotating away from the centre of the body just to create some space. Across the chest and the shoulders. And that length all the way through from the crown of the head down towards the soles of the feet. Nice soft gaze, open the eyes. We'll inhale now and lift our arms up and overhead. Exhaling to fold forward, so keeping those knees bent as much as you need. Head nice and relaxed down towards the floor. Inhaling, hands to shins. Exhaling, fold forward, bend the knees, arms out wide. Inhaling, and then exhaling back to centre. Do that twice more. Inhaling, exhaling, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Hands to shins on an inhale. Exhaling to fold. Arms out wide, inhale, exhaling back to centre. Exhaling, fold forward, hands to shins, Exhaling to fold. Keeping those knees bent again as much as you need. Placing the palms now flat down on the floor, so you may need to bend the knees down a little bit more. And just taking the feet back now towards the bottom of the mat. So let's all lower our knees down first as we arrive into this plank position. So just making sure our shoulders are above our wrists, tailbone tucking under just to protect the lower back. Pressing down through the balls of the feet as we lift our knees up. And again, option to keep those knees lowered if that feels better, more comfortable for you. So lifting those knees up if you've opted to lift the knees. And whatever position you find yourself in, really feel as though the belly button's drawing in towards the spine. You're really feeling that length that you're creating all the way along from the back of the head, down towards the heels. Now inhaling to lengthen. Exhaling to slowly lower the chin towards the floor, keeping the elbows tucked in towards the ribs. Untucking the toes when you get down there. And we're going to extend, just adjust myself a little bit so I don't end up in the flower beds. So we're going to extend our left arm out again. And we're going to take our right hand and bring it round our back. So right palm facing up towards the sky. Head just lifted up off the mat, looking forward. Nice length along the back of the neck. Flattening out the tops of the feet onto the mat. Turning the left thumb up towards the sky. And then we're going to inhale and lift our left arm and right leg. And back down again. We'll do that twice more on this side. Back down. Once more. And back down. And we do the same on the opposite side. So right arm out in front, left arm around the back. Inhale and lift up. And exhaling back down. Really feel as though you're reaching and just inviting that subtle back bend for the body, but also engaging the abdominal muscles just to support the back through that position. Now bringing the hands now underneath the shoulders, tucking the toes back under, pressing down through the palms so we lift ourselves back up again, and we take ourselves back up into a kneeling position at the back of the mat. So walking the hands in towards the knees, lifting the heels now, hips off the heels, taking our right foot forward towards the top of the mat again, heel toeing that front foot forward till you feel the stretch along the back of the right leg, inside of that left, hands across the front knee, and just sinking the hips forward and down, and really drawing those inner thighs in towards one another just to help support that stability and engagement across the abdominals. Arms out in front, thumbs towards the ceiling, inhaling up and overhead, shoulders nice and relaxed away from the ears, sinking those hips down towards the floor. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling down, hands framing that front foot, tenting those fingers just to give yourself a little bit more space for the upper body. Taking the right knee back alongside the left, walking the hands back in again, hips back up off the heels, left foot forward. So again, each side might feel quite different, and feel free just to widen that stance between the front foot and the back knee, just to support the stability. Again, inner thighs drawing in towards one another, lifting the pelvis away from that front thigh just to create a little bit more space in the body for the hips to sink down towards the floor. Arms out in front, thumbs towards the ceiling. Inhaling, lifting the arms up. And again, feeling that length now all the way from the fingers down towards the hips. And that right knee in the back leg. And really feel that grounding down through the front foot as you sink the body down towards the floor. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling, hands now framing that front foot, tenting those fingers either side of the front foot, taking the left knee back to the right, walking the hands back towards the knees, bringing yourself back round towards a comfortable seated position in the centre of the mat. Okay, hands back across the knees, closing the eyes. And just taking a moment just to check in with how you now feel compared to when you started this stretch session 15 minutes ago. The warmth that we've created, particularly around the mid-body, but also that ability to focus and concentrate as we've moved different limbs in different ways, at different times, and your ability to be present in that moment. Move, breathe, supported, positive mental health. hands off gaze, open the eyes. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you've enjoyed the session. And I'll just move in a little bit closer. So yeah, so just plug again for the charities that we're raising all the money for through this campaign. I've just posted a minute ago on Facebook and Instagram that we've raised £465 so far for the charities, which is phenomenal, and I'm absolutely grateful for every last penny that people from as far afield and New Zealand and Australia have donated to this campaign. 2 and a bit weeks to go, and yeah, so plenty of time to kind of keep spreading the message, spreading the word about what we're doing here. We're achieving a huge amount together, so so continue turning up, getting involved, spreading the message, and raising as much money as possible for these charities. Week Summer Stretch Challenge. Anyway, thanks very much, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Have an awesome day.